Hi everybody, we're going to start a 4-vlog series dealing with your digestive system and common problems that people have with their digestive system and what to do about that. So right now I want to start off with gut health medical answers, okay, the typical what medical doctors do when it comes to your gut health. So number one, so they like to either A, cut things out, as in take pieces of your intestinal system or digestive system out, or cover up the symptoms. And how is that done? Well, it's done by anti-inflammatories. We've all been on them before, and to stop swelling in the body, stop aches, stop pains. So anti-inflammatories is one thing. Another one is immune suppressants. So if you have an issue with your stomach, how many times you see on a commercial, it's like, if you start taking this, be careful of tuberculosis, be careful of all these other things. So immune suppressants stop the body from actually reacting to what's going on in it. So especially when it comes to autoimmune issues. Antibiotics is another popular one. There was a time when antibiotics were given out to people like they were candy if you're a medical doctor. They've cut down on that a lot, but you know what? It's still going on, it's still very prevalent. Also antispasmodics and antidiarrheals out there too. So if things are going wrong, your body's trying to flush something out, sometimes the counter thing of what the doctors are doing for you is if you have too much of one thing going on, well, let's stop it up. If you have too little of something going on, let's speed it up. Well, sometimes it interferes with the body's own natural system of what you'd like to see happen. If your body's trying to push something out, let's face it, it might come down with diarrhea to get rid of some toxins or some bacteria or something that your body doesn't want to have. So increase fluids in general, push that out of the body and get cleansed. So, and also pain relievers is another thing when it comes to medical answers, when it comes to digestive issues. So I'll give you also, for instance, about cutting things out in general. So if a person comes in and they have ulcerative colitis, which is linear blisters in the small intestine, large intestine, that they are very painful, number one, but they also cause you to go to the washroom a lot. So they're just popping up in the cells in your large intestine in lines. Therefore, they're linear and called ulcerative colitis. Nasty condition to have. Well, what they do is, removal of the large intestine and unfortunately sometimes the rectum also. So they call that a proctocolectomy, okay? Can you imagine having a piece of your intestines, a large intestine taken out along with your rectum, and then living with some type of bag going on with you that you're going to have for the rest of your life because there's no replacement. Another one, for instance, is Crohn's disease. So Crohn's disease, cut out pieces of the small intestine, and 2/3, you have to have another operation and another resection when it comes to your small intestine. 2/3 of them in about 5 years, you have to have another one. When it comes to ulcerative colitis, 30% have a problem within 1 year. So cutting things out is really not the answer. And we don't do that at Apex Life Longevity. We get you compounds to help heal the cells, subcellular processes, and things at the molecular level. So we're going to talk about food at this point too. When it comes to as a gateway or entry into your body, there's no bigger gateway or entry than your alimentary canal, which is your digestive system. So that's how most things enter the body besides your lungs being number 2. So what is the purpose of food? Food in general. That which is eaten to sustain life, provide energy, promote growth, and repair tissues. Now, if you put all those together, so things are eaten to sustain life, provide energy, promote growth, and repair tissue, does that sound like fast food to you? Does that sound like McDonald's in general? Does that sound healthy? So therefore, you have to be careful of the foods that you choose to put in your body because that's what your body has to work with. All right, so that's the Macmillan Dictionary, by the way. It's the purpose of food, what I just gave you there. So another thing when it comes to your digestive system, for instance, 80% of your immune system is in your gut. All right, so that's where we have the main protection. You have the main entry point, being your alimentary canal, as we discussed. It's the main entry point for everything for your body besides your lungs, okay? So when it comes in, it would make sense that a lot of your immune system is lodged there to help protect your body. So it's got to be some type of shield between the outside area and the inside of your body and your cells. So 80% of our immune system is there. If something's off in the stomach, off in the gut, okay, then you know that you're going to have some problems when it comes to your immune system. It's a big problem. The good thing is that you do have control of what's going on with your digestive system and you right now too. So we've got to the point where we're stopping aging when it comes to apex life and longevity. We can reverse aging for a while and definitely extend your life and have you feel better. So that's wonderful. 5 years ago even, we couldn't even do that. So the medical community, what we're doing here, and functional medicine wise, things are evolving at a rapid rate. So you also get to be proactive. There's more information out there when it comes to streaming and things on the internet. So you can look up things that are actually quality things. All you got to be careful of who and what you listen to, because you can't exactly believe or read everything, and believe everything you read out there or listen to. You have to be very, very cautious, and I very much urge that. So things can improve heart health, you improve autoimmunity issues. There's so much that you do have control of right now that even 5 years ago that you didn't have. I'd say one major problem, we're going to show you a picture here of how America's health habits not being very proactive. So that's going to show up on the screen here. And this is an actual person walking their dog and using their car to do it. So Americans are kind of infamous for not being proactive about their health. We kind of wait too long, or we depend on something too much when it's too late, and we don't want to have the drugs and surgery. Let's face it, that's not good for us. Some things that go wrong when it comes to your digestive issue that you can see going on in your body, it's common sense that fatigue can be one of them, okay? So fatigue is a big thing when it comes to various ways of digestion, what you take in your body, the vitamins, the nutrients, things not getting to your cells, things not digested properly. I can go on and on for an hour about that when it comes to, let's say, fatigue in the body. So here we have a picture of a dog lying down on a deck here. How many people out there, show of hands real quick, feel like that dog kind of totally conked out, especially at the end of a workday, just want to lay down, take it easy. So fatigue is one thing. Another thing is trouble concentrating. If your brain's not getting proper nutrients, proper oxygen too, but mainly proper nutrients, getting the glucose, what does the brain need? It needs oxygen and it needs glucose, okay? So it's broken down so the brain can be fed, and so trouble concentrating, trouble focusing, being really, really tired and just, losing your train of thought. So that can happen too. So with that, we have trouble concentrating. We have fatigue. What else do we have going on? So it comes to your digestive system, well, digestive pain and chronic pain in the body. Besides that too, it can be chronic pain in your joints. It could be in your muscles because they may not be getting the right nutrients to them. So it's going to cause an issue with actually how you feel. Toxins can be prevalent as not being flushed or being created in the digestive system. So trouble concentrating, bowel difficulty, my gosh, that one too. When it comes to what's going on with your digestive system, sometimes your bowels, it could be too much, or sometimes it could be too little. So we have a pretty good shot of the baby there sitting on the toilet and going like, do I have a problem? You better believe it. Happens in us adults too. That definitely happens. So chronic pain, bowel difficulty. People can be nervous and emotional also because right now you're not receiving in proper dosages nutrition of what you really need. So you can be nervous and emotional about things. You can be stressed out. Types of stress, physical stress, chemical stress, and let's say people, relationship stress. These stressors have a big impact on how your digestive system is doing. So I want to make sure that you know these things pop up, very common with digestive issues. So let's start with the rest of this vlog here. We'll start from point A to point B. So we're going to start out in the mouth, okay? So when it comes to the mouth, what is going on with digestion in the mouth? Very little kind of happens besides, well, number one, we're chewing up the food to make it smaller for other areas of the body that they can digest it, okay? So when it comes to that, we have to chew the food, we got to macerate it, okay, make it smaller so it can be easily broken down, digestible. The only thing, digestion in the mouth, is amylase, okay? Amylase is an enzyme in the mouth that helps break down all carbohydrates. So amylase, I like the study out there that you may have had when you're in grade school, that the teacher would come, biologic teacher, come by and have the whole class hand out like a saltine cracker, which saltine crackers don't taste like anything much, okay? But when they hand them out and you chew them for about 3 minutes, the amylase, starts working on the carbohydrates in your mouth, and actually that saltine cracker will start tasting sweet as the carbohydrates are broken down. So when it comes to carbohydrates, that actually begins in the mouth. We then swallow from the mouth through the esophagus going down to the stomach. And so what are some issues going on in this esophagus? Sometimes we can have a neurological issue when it comes to the peristaltic movement of the wave of the muscle that guides the food down to your stomach. There can be a nervous problem with that. Also, at the end of the esophagus, we have the esophageal ring, okay? It is a ring that sits on top of the stomach, and also then the food goes past that ring into the stomach. That ring constricts the contents in the stomach so it doesn't go back up in the esophagus. A lot of people have heartburn there when it comes to that esophagus area. So heartburn, spicy foods, okay? Things, maybe a little dehydration, or sometimes splash of stomach acid when it comes to the esophageal ring. Hiatal hernia can be another problem, causing food to be pushed up beyond that esophageal ring and cause heartburn and issues in esophagitis, inflammation in the esophagus at that area. So we have the esophagus, that's one structure. The next structure beyond that, though, is the stomach. A lot going on with the stomach. So when it comes to the stomach, there are special cells that line it, parietal cells there, and also cells that create acid, stomach acid. So when it comes to stomach acid there, it helps digest your food, breaks it down, especially proteins. So stomach loves breaking down proteins, starts the initial breaking down of fats in there too, but there's so much can go wrong. For instance, like ulcers in the stomach. If there is, when it comes to the biome in there, the bacteria that's in your stomach, one of the bacteria in there is H. pylori, okay, or Heliobacter pylori. It's a type of bacteria, and if you have too much of it, it can actually create ulcers in the stomach. And there are varying types of ulcers, some that are superficial, some that go all the way through the organ and then into your body, which is a big problem. A very painful condition when it comes to ulcers. So things that can go wrong, initial heartburn, we can have ulcers in the stomach, we can have stomach not emptying properly, once again a nervous issue, sometimes hormone issue when that happens. And that's things that go on in the stomach. So I want you to be aware of that. So next we'll get into, in the next talk, we'll start getting into things on gallbladder and small intestine, and that's when things become really, really complicated. So I thank you for listening in on this one, the beginning of our digestive series on things that can go wrong and what can you do about it. I'll make a quick comment when it comes to esophagitis, when it comes to irritation of the esophageal ring. People say, Doc, I have a problem when I lay down, okay? I'm laying down in bed, got a pillow behind me, and my head's up like so, okay? But I still kind of getting acid reflux in my esophagus, and it gets irritated, and it becomes irritated for a long time. Well, what you can do about that is, of course, you take some antacid, which is temporary. I have people take 2 big books, okay, about the size of dictionary, telephone books, whatever, put them under the head of your bed, so your bed is on an angle a bit. Just an angle like this, with your head up on the pillow a little further, keeps the stomach acid and the contents in the stomach that doesn't then therefore splash up into the esophagus. So by having your bed on an angle with the headboard up, 2 large books under the headboard can help tilt the bed down a little bit and keep your stomach acid in your stomach. Also, if you sleep on your left-hand side, stomach contents enter into the small intestine quicker than if you're laid on your right-hand side. These are things that can help out with stomach acid and stomach pain when you go to sleep at night, okay? So also sitting up when you eat is very, very important also, as opposed to some people like being on the couch, maybe a little recline like the Romans a bit. That wasn't really too good. We like having gravity assist, okay, when it comes to stuff emptying the stomach and in the small intestine. So a few things that you can do for that. So we thought I'd give you some pointers on that too. So next, we start getting into the gallbladder, the pancreas, and the small intestine, which major league things happen. All right, we'll catch you next time.